Who was your best lover of all times? Can you remember? Can you go back? Well, it should be you. You should be the best lover you've ever had. You should be the best sex you've ever had. And today I'm going to tell you why. Hi, I'm Dr. Assael Romanelli, and this is The Potential State. And today we're in sexual ownership number 1. Be your own best lover ever. So we all want to be considered the most legendary lovers for our partner and our exes. And yet there's something that I've realized over the years is that we miss. We need to be our own best lovers. We need to be the best sex we've ever had. And why? Because the second we know ourselves better, the second that we've explored, we've had more sex with ourselves than with anybody else, then what happens is we change a power dynamic that I see all the time in couples. And let me explain. So as a society, we often frown upon sexual exploration and masturbation, especially for girls and women. And what happens with that? So the second we don't talk about it, the second it's forbidden, it creates a lot of shame. And that leaves most of us not knowing to pleasure ourselves, not knowing our own anatomy, not knowing our own sexual desire, not knowing our own sexual manual of what to do. And then we enter these intimate relationships or marriage and we feel ashamed and we expect our partners to know what to do. And there's a lot of mind reading and anxiety and like almost this tension of, will they know? Will they crack the code? Will they know how to work with me? And it keeps us small, reactive, just not satisfied. And that also, that because we're implicitly waiting for our partner to deliver and to teach us and to discover and to just know what to do, then and there's a lot of disappointment. We have a lot of fighting over that. So why? So how can we change that? The answer is be your own best lover. And what does that actually mean? What will happen with that? It will give you confidence. First of all, not just in the bedroom, but in the world, like you will know thyself. We've been speaking about knowing thyself in so many different ways. This is one way to know thyself. What feels good? What doesn't feel good? You will feel more confidence in your relationship to tell your partner what you want. And then you will let go. You will relieve a little bit of the tension and the pressure they feel that they need to deliver, that they need to know better than you. And suddenly you can guide them and you can tell them, and it lowers anxiety because now you know what you need, you know what you want, you know what feels good. You can direct them. They're not responsible for your pleasure. They know that you can also pleasure yourself. It also liberates you when you're feeling horny, when you want more sexuality and your partner can't or won't, or they're not even next to you, you'll be able to satisfy yourself. You're lowering the pressure off your partner all the time to deliver, to satisfy you, because you'll be able to satisfy yourself. And it creates the whole topic of sensuality and sexuality and masturbation, an open topic in your relationship with your kids. It becomes a legitimate way. Just like you're exploring your voice, you want to hear your voice, you're exploring your physicality in sports, sensuality is part of it. I want to give you 2 quick examples of where I met this in my journey. So the first, I was doing in my PhD studies, we were doing a class about sex therapy, and we worked in partners and pairs, and I was pairing up with this other female student, and we had to draw the vagina. And I drew it, and then she drew it, and then we had an argument about the anatomy. And I was pretty sure it was right, but after all, she has one and I don't. And when the teacher showed us the drawing, we realized that she didn't know. She had no idea the own anatomy of her own vagina. And I thought that was fascinating for a woman to be of that age and not realize, not know. And I feel like that echoes a lot of times in the clinic in heterosexual couples that I work with, that the woman often complains that the husband does not know how to satisfy them. He only wants sex, but the sex is really bad. And then I often ask them, and do you know? Do you know what feels good? And often they say no, they don't know, or they're embarrassed to check or to explore with themselves. So there's this imbalance right now. There's expectation because men always want more sex, that they exactly know what to do, and they'll know exactly what to do. And when they don't, they fail the test. And the men feel that pressure, and then they either avoid it completely or they just ignore the needs of their partner. So how do we solve this? How do we soften this a little bit? How do you become your own best lover? The first thing is know thyself. Explore, read, look in the mirror, watch films alone with your partner, perhaps start alone where you feel more safe. Then after that, learn how to pleasure yourself. Learn what feels good for you. Again, this is all in the limits of your belief system, of your religious observance, whatever, if you feel comfortable with your own value system. Share this episode with a partner. And maybe also you could also go to either a men's group or a women's group. My wife, Romanelli, runs vagina workshops. Go to a women's workshop, go to a vagina workshop, go to a men's, read a book. I'll share some links to books. And after a while, after you share this episode with your partner, start talking about them. Start gently, respectfully loving them. Show them what feels good. It doesn't just have to be in the sexual department. It also be in sensual, like how to touch, how to hold hands, how to kiss, how to caress. And if needed, you can also just demonstrate. They can watch you. You don't have to always direct them. You can also just show them how you feel. And if you make sensuality part of your daily life and a legitimate part of your discussion, if you become your own best lover, there's a sense of confidence, differentiation, even sense of self-respect. So when you come into the sexual encounter, you both will be your own legendary lovers. And then from there, it can just get better and better. So be your best lover ever, and good luck. My name is Dr. Assael Romanelli, and this was The Potential State. I'll see you next time.